what I do is I give you a name. You can give me, it's like word association. You can give me a word. You can give me a tiny little story. You can say you've never met them. You can say you love them. You can say whatever you
Okay.
want. So the first name is, and it's also, it's all ECW. And the first name I'm going to bring up specifically over a Porsche court case, Missy Hyatt.
Oh, Missy Hyatt was great. She had been in the business for a while. We were on Judge Mathis, you know, the like Judge Judy and all those people were
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a half hour segment. We went on Judge Mathis together because I wrecked her Porsche. And we thought it was a good idea to go on Judge Mathis and get that publicity. Any publicity is good publicity. So we did that. Missy Hyatt's quite the body. She still looks great today. I see her. In fact, she just came up. I work for a company out of Cleveland called AIW, and they bring in a name every once in a while. They bring in like the $1 Million Man and so on, and Ted DiBiase, and they brought in Missy Hyatt, and she looked great. She looked great. So she's a good friend and still looking good. And those big titties, she was beautiful.
This next name I give you, I'm hoping you've got a story to connect to Missy Hyatt. The name is Paul Varlins, the ex-UFC fighter.
You know what? That name doesn't really bring out much memory, but I'm sure you got some stories about Paul.
Well, no one wants to hear what I've got to say about that story, so I'll just leave it there and I'll move on.
Okay.
You mentioned him before, Kevin Sullivan.
Oh, Kevin Sullivan was great, and he's still a good friend of mine today. We used to ride together in Florida Championship Wrestling. He was there with King Curtis and Purple Haze and Luna Vachon and Bob Roop, and they had that devil gimmick going, and he was quite the guy, and he's still a really good friend of mine. I just texted him a happy birthday last month.
Is he in Florida still, or where is he?
No, he lives outside of Washington. Well, Washington State. He's on an island right outside of Washington State. There's a little island there.
Big Dick Dudley is the next one.
Big Dick Dudley. He was didn't speak much. You know, had those glasses on. He was quite the character, and he played his part really good. He did his role really good, and I'm not sure if he passed away or not. I think he did.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, I've heard he was like an absolute. He barely ever wrestled, but he was like in real life, really tough dude.
Yeah, he would. That when a part was his gimmick. Yeah, he was one of those tough guys and lived in the Northeast. You know, New York, Philly area. You got to be tough up there.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was badass for real.
Dawn Marie.
Dawn Marie was beautiful. And I see her once in a while at a convention or something. Stunning. She had a good spot and well liked by the boys and the audience. The fans liked her.
Jack Victory.
Jack Victory had been around the business for years and played his part well. Great guy to have on your team.
Do you remember Louis Dangerously? I think he was signed guy Dudley as well.
Yeah, yep. I see him once in a while. He's very intelligent. He had a nice spot in ECW, the sign guy. Yeah, great guy, and well liked. I love him. Yeah.
Tell me the story with this next one, Hayabusa.
Hayabusa, badass. Didn't we have a tag match with him and somebody else, Van Damme and Sabu, in one of the pay-per-views?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
All those Japanese guys were good. Tajiri and all those guys, my God, the matches he used to have with Mike Awesome, man, how they get through those hardcore stuff, I'll never know. Mike Awesome was big and strong, and they would beat each other up, man, in that ring. It was unbelievable what the stuff they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, with some of the stuff that they're doing with high flying and stuff. I mean, Hayabusa, I believe he ended up breaking his neck, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like it wasn't like a lion salt or like a moonsault off the ropes, and he ended up breaking his neck. And it's like, oh,
it was something that we did a million times before, and just
one time. Yeah,
things happen, man.
Yeah.
Look at the guy with Rey Mysterio worked with, and the kid died in the ring. I think it was in Mexico or something, where he did that Rey Mysterio spot where the guy hangs over the second rope and Rey does the spinning thing where he hits him with his feet. The kid was already dead when he did that. Somehow he broke his neck and died right there in the spot.
Perro Aguayo Jr., I believe that was. Tammy Sytch.
Tammy's, I just saw her along with Missy Hyatt. She was the following month, came in AIW in Cleveland, and she looked great. She's aged well. She put on a couple pounds, but she's still beautiful and still witty and charming, and people like her. I like Tammy. I thought she was one of the most beautiful girls in the business at one time, because she was so good on the mic in when she was in WWF and grabbed that mic and that good-looking bro to be doing those promos. Man, I thought she was hot, and she was.
Yeah, definitely
still hot. I got a naked picture of her. I'll send you. Her and Missy Hyatt are posing naked. I'll send you that picture.
I've seen a clip of the DVD. A brief clip. I turned it off quite soon afterwards.
Yeah, they weren't all that. Good for them, you know.
Hey, if they made the money, that's their choice.
I'd marry her for a weekend.
I thought you had the tall blonde Hungarian at home.
Well, she went to work, but I'm just saying that.
You can say that now she's gone to work.
Yeah, God bless her. I love my girl.
I'll give you a few more and then we'll close the podcast down. Brian Lee.
Oh, big Brian Lee, badass. He was a big kid, and he that was the Undertaker's boy.
Yeah.
Him and the Undertaker were good friends. And we used him quite well. I thought he was legitimate and a big kid and can do his stuff, and no problem. He was he was a team player and a ball player. I like him a lot. Him a lot.
Wildfire Tommy Rich.
I go back with Wildfire Tommy Rich. He was the hottest thing on the Superstation, Channel 17 at 6:05. He was Jim Barnett, who was one of the owners of NWA. He loved Tommy Rich, and boy, he was on fire back in the day. And he's still relevant today. I see him once in a while. I got several pictures. I worked with him at Florida Championship Wrestling. I worked with him in WCW. I worked with him in ECW. And quite the character. Wildfire Tommy Rich. Country boy.
Did you have a party with Wildfire?
Oh, yeah. I partied with all of them. Yeah, and he knows how to party, believe me.
Go on, give me an evening with Tommy Rich. How does it go? What drinks do you start out with? What other things do you have over the evening?
I think he was a beer drinker, and I don't want to say he liked it, but there was cocaine involved with it. Well, when you're working for Vince and all that, you're drug tested, and you couldn't party like that, but in some companies, you're wide open. And there was a little cocaine use, a pill here and there, a lot of marijuana, and he liked his Budweiser.
With Tommy Rich, I mean,
and a great guy, but see, he can do it and still perform. You know,
with Tommy, you've got classics like Stan Lane, Ricky Morton, Tommy Rich. Of all the wrestlers you saw, who was the one who could just click their fingers and 100 girls would be making a beeline to them?
Damn. All of us. There was girls lined up, man. I'll tell you a story about Giant Gonzalez and a girl if we got time.
Yeah.
But we were celebrities, and the girls that used to come to the matches wanted to just be around us, you know, but any given time, the girls would love us. Girls loved us. It doesn't matter if it was Wildfire or Fonzie, you know.
If you're on TV.
Guys, yeah. And some guys were single and some guys weren't. And the single guys would, have a great time with the girls.
And the married ones would as well.
Occasionally, yeah, that would happen.
Cyrus, Don Callis.
Don Callis, Cyrus the Virus.
Cyrus the Virus.
Pretty cool cat. Worked with him here and there. Intelligent, super guy, and was glad to call him a friend.
Jazz.
Oh, Jazz,
yeah.
Probably the best female wrestler, especially back in ECW, back in that day. She could work like the boys do. She was badass. We get along great. She's still relevant today. She still works a little bit in the ring, and I see her at the I see her at the conventions and stuff. Very, very talented and a sweetheart and good looking and a friend of mine. I love Jazz.
Yeah,
badass.
She was like the female Taz, wasn't she, in ECW?
Yeah, black and beautiful.
Yeah. Sally Graziano.
Oh, Big Sal, the big kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty cool. He was limited in what he could do because he was so big, you know what I mean? But he carried his weight. I remember him carrying little Guido.
Oh, you're getting a phone call.
Yeah. I remember him carrying little Guido on the shoulders.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Walking out to the ring. And I can see him in that green T-shirt with the full-blooded Italians with Tommy Rich. Hey, Tommy Rich, he's a full-blooded Italian, It was funny. It was great. I love Sal.